Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rep. Last time that I checked, I was in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I checked, I'm the streets voice out west. Legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked, first the money, the respect, and the power come next. Last time that I checked, I've been self-made from the dribble. I was been saying I'm a
Kendall, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The only reason that my mood is picked up right now is because of that intro. Every time I hear Nipsey Hussle, shout out to rest in peace Nipsey Hussle, it just picks me up. But the feeling here is very gloom.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
That's a good question. That's a good question, man. I would have loved to come out with a win last night. I feel like the way that we lost also didn't help. I mean, the last time we went to OT on this field, we won. Yeah, but this time it ain't go our way. It was a lot of mix of emotions because it was like 2 minutes left in the game. I thought, all right, bet unless something crazy happened, we good.
And Lord, did it happen?
Something crazy happened. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to talking about it, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna be honest. I was sitting up here and I was like, "What lower third should I do? What topic should we do?" I don't even know what like exactly what specific part of the game to highlight. The good, the bad, the ugly. But it's like everything. The good that happened, the 250 rushing yards we had, was just wiped away after they took the win. It's like you got small wins.
Yep.
That's a positive moving forward because that was the first time. That was I believe that was our first rushing touchdown since Southern, or it's our running back's first rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a tough situation.
It is.
Like I told you, I've never even with the one win against Southern, it still feels like we are 0-4 just based off a 3-game skid.
I mean, in all reality, that loss or that sole win feels like it's a long way away. So I mean, that's
like a year ago.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Let's get into it though.
Yeah, man. Where you want to start?
I mean, I think the first thing is first. It's been a topic of conversation since last year, the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like the 2-quarterback system? Do you like it? You love it? What are your thoughts on it? Did it help us out yesterday? In comment section, y'all let us know too.
So obviously for me, I would want us to have just a one starting quarterback and let's roll. I think, and we talked about this before, I think one of the things that running a 2-man quarterback system does help with, I guess, it makes our offense a little bit more unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've seen, especially in the last 2 games, Dame and Dede are not going to play the same way. They may have similar skill sets, but they're not going to play the same way.
Right.
For those of you who didn't see the press conference last night, I asked Coach Robinson, what was the change in mindset? Like, what exactly happened there? And because I mean, those of y'all that saw that FAMU game, we threw the ball 40 times, or Dame threw the ball 40 times.
Mm-hmm.
This game we threw the ball a combined.
I think it was 17.
It was something close like that.
It was somewhere in the teens.
Yeah,
that's right here.
We threw the ball 18 times.
Okay.
And Dame threw the ball 10 times. Dede threw the ball 8 times. But we rushed 50 times, and we had 257 yards.
Which is great.
This is our best rushing performance by far this year. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel
keep going.
with what we did with our quarterbacks. If we're gonna do it, I feel like we executed it okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did enough to win the game. And I think
did we really? Well, running the ball,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, our offense, I think, for the most part, did enough to win the game. What do you think about it? Because then I'll go on my little thing after you.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a minute.
Yeah, I feel like.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it due to the fact that I thought, it was a situation. You gotta go with the hot hand.
Mm-hmm.
have it at that time, consistently enough at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like D was in a solid rhythm. He was 7 for 8. Obviously, but he did have a high completion percentage, and you have to give him opportunity to play out the rest of the game. I lean toward the side of you gotta have one guy, you gotta pick, and you gotta rock with him. I mean,
I can agree with you.
at this point, Kendall, in the season, we're gonna talk about the SWAC stands later in the game, but your championship hopes are slipping away. They're dwindling. The window is closing, and you're basically playing for next year. You got to decide right now which guy you want to go with. I know it's about, some people want to see changes in I'm of the mindset that we got to figure out who's our guy. And whether that's giving, Dame 2 games to play and then D 2 games to play just to figure out who's going to be that person, it's started. No switches. Just let them play the full game. They mess up, because your championship hopes are done. Give them a stretch.
Okay. I see your point.
Go ahead, though.
Before I go.
We're good on here. It's just.
We keep pausing. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I don't know what you got there. You got your hotspot.
No, it's on there. It's on there. Let's keep going. We're good. With this.
We move. All right, bet. I got something to say. About this whole quarterback situation. First things first, I want to put this out here. I appreciate you giving me the floor. I really do. First things first, I want to say I am not coming on here to disrespect anybody, especially let alone our 2 quarterbacks. I'm not trying to do that. That's not what I'm on this platform for. That's not what we do on this platform.
These are our opinions.
For sure, as y'all can see by the ticker. But one thing I do. All right, it's a lot of people talking about Dede lost this game or putting a lot of blame on. And one thing I'm not about to do. Okay, Davis. For people that say Davis isn't the QB1 or whatever. Okay, fine. That's. But like I said before, one thing I'm not about to do is I'm not about to act like Dede wasn't a big part of us having the potential to win that game yesterday, because he was. Because for one, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, but Demetrius Davis had a touchdown. I don't know what the SWAC refs was looking at, but Demetrius Davis had a touchdown. When he threw the ball to Jalen Lay and Jalen Lay's knee was down, if you say it wasn't, y'all are tripping. That was a touchdown, or that was going to be a touchdown, regardless. So Dede, and he was also a big part of our rushing attack too. He was third in rushing with 58 yards rushing. Demetrius Davis was a big part of us being in that game. So I just don't like the fact, you can say whatever you want about Dede. I don't like the fact that people are making it seem like Dede is to blame, because in all honesty, we didn't really have much to do we didn't really have many different plays to run. I mean, y'all saw the play calling. I don't know what y'all wanted Dede to do in that situation. So I just want the Dede disrespect to you can be a fan of Dame without disrespecting Dede.
Can I say it real quick?
What's up?
We know the Wi-Fi is iffy right now, but please stick with us. We're doing the best we can. Continue.
This on his computer, by the way. So
it's his
on his computer, by the way. But yeah. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like Dede getting a lot of crazy stuff.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. So I just I want to make some things clear. Second, I want to give James Burgess, JB. I want to give him his flowers. He balled out. I've been watching JB for at least 2 seasons now. JB, hey, best game I've ever seen him play. We had a little lapse at the end, whatever. JB, you got it, bro. I mean that from the heart. Like, you got it. You played your butt off. Before Khalil come back, Jaden John, the kicker. Hey, I done seen he been getting a lot of hate, a lot of this, a lot of that. All right, he missed the kick. Okay, cool. For sure. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I would have made the kick, because I know I wouldn't. I'm not gonna sit here and talk like I would have. He missed a kick. All right, sure, fair, whatever. Hey, we regroup and we move on. All right. Like I'm not gonna sit here and hammer and hammer and hammer. He missed a kick. Cool. We move.
Good.
I'm good. That didn't go as deep as I wanted to, but maybe
I know. No, I know the Wi-Fi. It really.
Yeah.
Man, I second that, Kendall. Certain things you said, not everything.
Okay, shoot.
But
We can disagree. What's up? Don't you read it?
I'm not. I can't remember everything you said.
Right.
I do believe that Demetrius Davis has received too much hate. I don't think that my things. I feel like we made a quarterback change way too early. It's early in the year. Now, like I just said, Kendall. We don't have a quarterback. Because if you're playing two guys, you have no guys. Is what they say in the pros. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? What change has to be made moving forward? Whether it because they ran a different offense yesterday. They did a whole lot of under center stuff as opposed to what they used formation. They ran the ball great. Is that a success? Is that successful moving forward?
I think you got a great question to ask because you want your running attack to be good. I mean, Coach Robinson said in the press conference, he's be good. He wants to be a run heavy team. That's something that we want to do. We haven't established our run game in the last 3 games. We finally do. We need to find a balance. Because when you have talent at your wide receiver,
Keyshawn only had 2 catches.
When you have a Keyshawn Johnson, when you have a Tyree Saunders, when you have a Isaiah Scott, when you have all of these different guys, you have talent there. You want to utilize be a more balanced team when it comes to that.
Right.
Because even our tight ends, Jalen Lake, like I said, Jalen Lake had a touchdown, great one-handed catch. I don't know. He bounced back from his leg being bent back.
I'm not gonna lie. You know me.
Yeah.
ACL would have been gone
for sure. I don't know how he did that, but that wasn't a fumble. So in my opinion, Jalen Lake either had a touchdown or he had one of the best receptions of the game.
All right.
So in my opinion, that's something that we have to utilize because we have too much talent at our wide receiver and tight end positions not to utilize. But I don't think we can just rely on one or the other and come out with these wins.
I mean, like I told you yesterday, we were sitting in the press box. The only difference between this season and last season is we were playing the exact same games last year, but we were coming out the other end. Whether that was because of the defense blocking the field goal and returning it like yesterday, because it felt like if the last night's game felt like last year's game. It felt like that game against one of those. It felt like almost like the classic game when Keenan blocked the field goal and we were returning back almost. Yada. Anywho, that's the only difference. We're winning the games that we should have lost last year and vice versa. But we can't rely on almost, should have been, would have been, could have been. We could have done this, we could have done that. It's what we are right now is, unfortunately, based off the record, we are an underperforming football team. I'm not going to say we're a bad football team. I'm even going to say we're average. We're underperforming based off the talent that we have on the team. You have Bubba, who is one of the best linebackers in college football. You have Adrian Maddox, who's one of the best DBs in the country. Cale Jackson, one of the best DBs in the country. We're underperforming, Kendall. We are underperforming.
I agree with you on that. I mean, I truly do believe some of the stops that our defense would have made last season, we're not making now. But I also think it's a situation where it really just be like 1 or 2 plays. Mm-hmm. But those 1 or 2 plays just be so big that it's like, bruh, what are we doing?
The ball security is what killed us yesterday. 7 fumbles? Mm-hmm. 7.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
Kendall, I've never seen somebody fumble the ball 7 times. All we had to do to wrap that game up was keep giving the ball. Well, Juwan fumbled it, but if we would just held on to the ball, we would have been okay. Even if it resulted in us kicking, I would have rather us miss the field goal down here and then them drive the ball down than us fumble, because a fumble is just like it's a mental thing. Mm-hmm. And then your defense is back on the field. They're backed up against with their backs against the wall. And you're asking them to do something they've been doing all game. Granted, they had 370 yards they gave up passing wise. I get that.
And that was my biggest thing. I feel like our defense in the past would not have given up that many yardage or that many yards passing through the air. Stopping Jarvie Howard.
Right, for sure.
For sure. I mean, he had five carries. We did a great job of neutralizing him, but at a cost of 370 yards through the air.
You can't have ball.
I also put it in context. Their quarterback did throw 50 times. Mm-hmm. But
it was also kind of efficient, closer to the efficient side than less efficient.
32 46.
Right.
I'll also bring that up later.
Our team as a whole had 7 fumbles.
Yeah, I'll bring it up later on show as well. But that's a lot of times to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. 370 yards, that's a lot. Now, granted, I will say they was killing us on
checkdowns.
Yeah, checkdowns, and having their running backs go basically at our second line of defense and stop when Bubba and the rest of them are back a little bit further.
Right.
So I can see that. What are you laughing at? What is so funny? Okay. All right. Bro, tighten up, bro.
Oh my God. All right, I'm good. All right, back to the thing. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep him crying, especially after yesterday.
Actually, he's not lying.
Jesus, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Dame. He. My only issue with Dame is he miss the big plays, like the accurate. He can we can have potentially a big touchdown on he overthrew someone yesterday wide open end zone.
I think it was Keyshawn.
Back corner, wide open. He beat the DB by a mile. Yep. Could have that would right there could have been a big. That would have wrapped the game up right there. Mm-hmm. D, like you said, this is the second week in a row our tight ends have both had touchdowns and either been called back or dropped or flags. The referees also played a role in us losing this game. They also played a role last week in us losing the game.
Bro.
Not the sole reason, but they did play it. They have a factor.
I don't care what nobody says. It's no way in the world. There were Alcorn fans looking at the replay and saying that's not a fumble.
Right.
So I don't care what nobody says. That play right there, that blew. It was early on in the game, so we had a lot of other stuff to do. But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's no way in the world. It's no way in the world that should have been called for.
All right.
Point blank period.
I'm just glad. Like I said, I'm just glad his leg is still intact, though.
For sure. Because, like I said, he that's a big dude. Yeah. We talked about this yesterday. That's a big dude. Mm-hmm. His leg got bent all the way back.
And for all the slack that we gave him last year, when he's had the opportunity to perform this year, he's come up when he gets one. For sure. And that's one thing we want to see this year. I want to see him at least get the opportunity to catch the ball in his hands. He's 6'8", and I don't feel like we utilize him in space. We struggle in the red zone, and that's a big red zone target. Whether you put him out in motion, Kendall, against a DB, just throw him a jump ball. He's 6'8".
Absolutely.
There's only so much a DB can do.
For sure.
That's like LeBron. That's like me and you guarding LeBron James in the post. It's gonna be a foul or you're gonna score the play. Mm-hmm. and we're not giving him an opportunity, nor are we giving the other side an opportunity. Now, I see the offensive line. I talk about the offensive line. I think our offensive line did good yesterday. Aside from a couple plays, which is typical for the offensive line, you go to stats every now and then. But 250 rushing yards, they had a good game.
I was about to say, you don't just have 257 rushing yards and your O-line not play well.
Right.
Because a lot of those, and which I really like all credit to the OC as far as the run plays that he was calling. Mm-hmm. A lot of those plays was ran in between tackles.
Yeah, straight up.
And we was getting movement.
Right.
Somehow, some way. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
But it was also easier to run against a 3-man front because that's what they ran in the first half. Now in the second half, they changed it up into the 4-man front, which is probably why we struggle. I don't know what the difference between our first half versus stats were and the second half versus stats, but there was definitely a drop off. I feel like.
I mean, I think that's also adjustments too.
That's what I'm saying. They made the adjustments to the 4-man front.
Yeah, because I mean, they obviously we running the ball that much.
Right. It's fair.
But yeah, so I completely disagree on that. Like I said, we only threw the ball 18 times.
But Kendall, our whole offensive thing, it comes down to an identity. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a passing attack or do you want to be a rushing attack? Coach Robinson has said over and over and over again, I want to run the ball. I want to run the ball. Well, yesterday, we ran the ball 250 yards. And in my opinion, this is just me, D is the perfect quarterback for that. That's his as far as running between him and Dame. That's it. That's where that's where the difference between the two is. Dame is what people would say is a better passer. I guess you will see. I think he's more accurate. He's a little more decisive when he's passing. But as far as running, that's Dame. That's Diddy's baby running the ball.
Yeah,
and he had 13 for 58 yesterday.
For sure. And as for why we weren't passing the ball, I mean, we had success running the ball.
Right.
It'd be totally different if we was talking about what we had, maybe barely 100 yards.
This was like last week's game when we're relying on the way the trick play kind of inflated the stats a little bit, where it made look we had more passing stats than we really did, and it's kind of different. But we were able. One and a half of our offense is working. It wasn't both.
As far as again, this was a tale of two. This was a tale of two offenses.
Right.
For this week versus last week. Last week we threw the ball 40 times. Y'all know when the last time we had a player, Dame threw the ball 38 times. Do y'all know when the last time we had a quarterback throw the ball 30 plus times?
Not since I've been here.
Demetrius Davis, whoever we played at the
UAPB?
Yeah.
Or Bethune?
Last season. The last game of last season. Didi threw the ball 30 times. And also their stats were kind of similar. Didi's and Dame's when they both threw the ball 30 plus times. Mm-hmm. We just don't do that. We don't throw the ball a lot. That's just been part of our team. Probably because of what you just said. We want to have a good rushing attack.
Mm-hmm. We played a very old school brand of football yesterday, and our red zone struggles are what kills us. Like, if
we can get down the field.
Yeah, I definitely have felt like our offense is able to move the ball, but punching it in is when you start kicking field goals. Is when you start questioning us. We leave a lot of points on the board.
We do
week to week, like Coach Robinson said. Didn't we leave about you talk about that Jalen touchdown? That'd have been 7 points right there. Mm-hmm. There was another play that happened. We missed did we miss a field goal in the first half?
I believe he missed 2, yes. We missed the extra point for sure.
Missed extra point.
Or we didn't get to
I believe Coach Robinson said we had Jalen's drop touchdown, and then Juwan fumbled the ball in the red zone, and then we missed
Keyshawn running for the touchdown right there.
So that's 21 points right there you left on the board. Flat out clean straight. It's clean cut. So when you're talking about how many points we could realistically have, we're leaving a lot of room where we could have a lot more of an effective offense.
For sure. I mean, ultimately, I feel like if we, and of course we're talking about ifs, but if we could maximize our red zone opportunities, we would be a lot better of a team. I believe we would be.
We would average over 20 points a game.
For sure, but I also believe that we would have more than one win on the season as well. So,
who did beat FAMU last week?
I agree.
Because you take that last touchdown they scored was a blocked field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a pick six. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you take with that. How many times we were in the red zone last week? Like, this is why I say we are not a bad football team. We're not. The record says we are, but we're not, in my opinion. We leave a lot. We eat half of our plate. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
I didn't know if that was the old saying. I just don't know about it.
No, it's not a saying at all. That was just me off the top of the head.
Okay, so for me personally, I feel like we beat ourselves in a lot of situations. I ain't gonna say we eat half of our plate or anything, but we beat ourselves in a lot of situations, and I feel like it's ultimately to our detriment. Like you said earlier, a lot of the games that we're losing now are games that we won last season, where we're winning it by the skin of our teeth,
right? And
we're going. So I'm looking at this team. I think that's one of the most frustrating things about it is that our losses are not for lack of talent.
Mm-hmm.
Our losses also sometimes aren't for lack of
the team
play
being better than us either.
Yeah. Sometimes our losses are just because we're not executing the way.
I mean, if we're being honest, hasn't that been all of them dating back to last year, aside from UCLA? Have we really just? I mean, I guess you want to say Jackson State too, but even that game, I still feel like that was it. But Alcorn Prairie View last year, beat ourselves, missed field goals, turnovers. FAMU last year, beat ourselves. Every single loss from last year to this year has been us strictly beating ourselves. Nobody has just been better than us outright. Coach Robinson, in our coaching show, we talked about this. He said, if a team just beats you 50-7 or just outright defeats you, that's one thing. But when you lose because of one or two plays, 3 plays, 4 plays you can count in your hand, that's a different kind of loss.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I just feel like it's one of those situations where it's so many different variables that go losing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's true for every team, but I just feel like I said, we're not losing for lack of talent, lack of potential. We're losing because of lack of execution.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like 1 or 2 plays. Like, in all honesty, I feel like our defense played an game last week.
They did enough for us to
last night. But when it comes to the play with Mickey Victor, when it comes to that, and
go ahead.
This one. But when it comes to that play, and then with JB,
mm-hmm.
those are 2 plays that, other than that, they was playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both talented DBs. It was just 2 plays. That's the difference between no points and 14 points.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, but that's what makes the great coaches great. And this goes beyond ASU. You talk about Nick Saban and you talk about, Bill Belichick's the greatest coaches of all time. The little things, the little reps. We're gonna be in practice and we're gonna practice nothing but special team blocking. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do nothing but practice snapping the ball. Mm-hmm. When they will spend a whole practice doing that. That type of stuff matters. It may be frustrating, me like we're wasting time out here, but it doesn't matter until it matters.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to tie the game up for overtime.
For sure.
You don't pay attention to ball security until you fumble the ball in the red zone, and now the other team's about to go down the field and score. Mm-hmm. That's what makes the great coaches great. The little bitty things you don't think matter, paying attention to the small details is what's important. Small things make the big things easy.
I'd argue that that's what makes the great players great too.
Right.
You want to get into some of these comments because they're saying some interesting things. And I kind of want to.
Okay. I guess they were asking because of DD. That whole situation, I don't know. Kendall already addressed this. It's not popping up. You anything to say about that?
I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's keep it pushing. I don't know because I feel like I kind of already said it.
Beat ourselves. Not hiding, just giving Kendall the floor because he had some things he wanted to say. And when I have my soliloquies, he let me get my space too. I'm good on there because our heads full. That's a big thing. Like, and I want to talk about Miles probably for a second. And each week, you got to make him. I'll give him this credit each week. We 2 weeks, I'll give him credit on the show. He's playing well.
Who is we?
I said I'll give him credit on the show.
Oh, okay.
He's playing. He's right now. He's the best quarterback in the conference, I would say. But I also have to say he's with a team that fits his skill set. Here, I don't think that our play style fit his skill set. He's in a very offense that spread attack, and they're swinging the ball around, very high pace, flying around the field. Here, we're more ground and pound, run the ball, and I don't even know if I don't know if our scheme really fits one of our. Gramblin's scheme fits Miles' skill set.
So I'll say 2 things. The first thing is I totally agree with you on the fact that I don't feel like Miles, in all of his time at ASU, I don't feel like Miles ever had an opportunity to say, this offense is built around me. Now, that's due to a lot of things. For one, Ryan and Joe were competing for a QB spot for the
basically all 4 years.
2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Last season, we wanted, like, the difference between a quarterback that is here when you take the job versus a quarterback that you recruit is glaring. When obviously you want the quarterback you to play. We never built our offense around Miles last year because Dede was always supposed to be the one that we wanted to start.
Yeah.
And then this season, we're having some of the same problems where we have 2 quarterbacks that both can play, but you don't know which one you want to start on a week-to-week basis, or you don't know which one you actually want to play.
Nobody separate themselves.
Exactly. So I feel like in that case, you have an issue where you can't really build the offense around one quarterback.
This Wi-Fi don't kill me, bro. Thank you, God. I'm fine. Kendall was happy about Colorado lose yesterday, but I'm fine. I think the Alcorn loss kind of still got him down though.
G, by the way, G, I just want to say, I don't like the fact that every time y'all come to the crib, y'all be ducking us. Right. What's going on? Like, what's happening here? All right, y'all, the Braves, they won. All right, cool, whatever. But, oh boy, when the Giants won, y'all, we ain't hear from you. So I just want to say, win or lose, we come to y'all crib, we at least gonna find y'all. That's all I'm saying.
Fair point. I wish we could see that stat, like what the difference between the offense would be as a starter on the field versus Dame as a starter on the field.
I think when asking a question like this, you also got to look at the play calling too, though.
Fair.
Dede, like I said before, when you have Dame throwing the ball against FAMU last week, Dame threw the ball 40 times. Dede has not thrown the ball 40 times in his entire Alabama State University career.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we did put things into perspective as well.
I wish we could do a film breakdown the way we watched that game last week against FAMU, but that's a lot of detail that we should save for all. Need one QB. Dame plays well against FAMU. Why not let him keep balling?
I will say one thing about Dame. He did play. He played good. We moved the ball. He did what he was supposed to do as far as that's concerned. I will say the same thing that people say about Dede in some situations is the same thing you can say about Dame. Dame missed some throws. Or his judgment was bad in certain situations against Fam. Mm-hmm. Did Fam capitalize on all of those? No.
Neither did Alcorn either.
But at the same time, I feel like we can't just go based on stats because stats can be deceiving. But at the same time, that's Dame's first game as a starter. I would have loved to see Dame play another game full starting because if we're going to throw the ball 40 times with Dame as our quarterback, okay, cool. But we don't know if that's going to be the case. But I agree with you. I would have liked to see a little bit more consistency when it came to our quarterback.
I feel like the rest of the season is going to be trial and error for our offense.
That's what it sounds like.
But O-line sucks. Alcorn, yeah. The O-line did good.
That's what we were talking about earlier. If the O-line sucks, then I'll take the O-line sucking if they give if we get 257 rushing yards.
You take away those fumbles and we look even better.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's cool.
And I'm one of their harshest critics usually. So. Why weren't we passing the ball? Because the rushing attack was working.
257.
Good time. There were so many passing lanes and routes open, though. Alcorn's DBs suck.
Now, granted, if you're talking about like, all right, we rush, we take advantage of that. Okay, cool. We tried to do that with Keyshawn with that go route. I believe that's what he ran. And we just missed it.
It's a throw. Overthrow. It is. All right. Alcorn's DBs played 10 yards off Keyshawn. He still wasn't being utilized besides being a motion runner. He needs more touches. I've told you last weekend, though, I said I want him to get 10 targets a game. Maybe 15.
Yeah, he said 15.
I think he deserves it, but when the running game is working like that, that's a situation where Keyshawn has to be okay with it because one half of the offense is working, the other half isn't. You got to, sacrifice sometimes.
Let's put it into perspective. If we win this game, more touches, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I don't know if we win this game, I don't know if people are as adamant about Keyshawn getting the ball. Great player, definitely needs the ball more. But if your run game's on, your run game's on.
All right. That should have iced the game.
Yeah, we talked about ball security. I mean,
Oh, it's cold in here, man. Everybody told us that we just take their DBs. Oh, my fault. Be patient, bro.
You want to double tap?
Everybody told us if we just attack the DBs, we would dominate. Don't get me wrong. Right side was good. Since we just had.
I mean, I can agree with you on that. But I'm also not mad that we went all in on the rushing game. That was wrong.
If the rushing game wasn't working and we just were handicapping ourselves, that's a different story. But if you be coming in at the game, we'll overthrow a pass. That's what I was talking about earlier. You're not letting either one of them really get into a rhythm or get a feel for the game.
I'll agree with you, and I think when they were doing it, because different quarterback each drive, then they started inserting. Okay, DD come in for this play.
That's when you miss him.
Come in. That can be a little bit difficult. For them to throw the ball.
Right.
I think it may not have been as destructive because we were running the ball so much.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're asking quarterbacks to throw the ball, consistency, rhythm is everything.
Mm-hmm. Also for your receivers too, because
absolutely
the ball may spin in different kind of ways, different spirals.
For sure.
They have different throwing motions too. So. Mm-hmm.
I felt like overtime I would have liked to see something different. We had success running the ball, so I'm not mad at it. Mm-hmm. We ran the ball, I believe, 3 times in overtime, and we threw the ball once. I don't really feel like the rollout passes for D were to his strong suit. I feel like if they weren't rollout passes and he just had to sit in the pocket, I felt like we would have had more success because the way that the routes were going. And the way that DD moved around the pocket, like scrambled out, I didn't really feel like it gave him the best opportunity to score. But I'm not mad at us rushing the ball 3-4 times in overtime. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, but I don't want to just handicap him to just a running quarterback though, because he can do so much more.
Yeah, we've seen him do more too.
Keep the same range you had before the season started. Don't look around at me like that. Look, this is a rebuilding season. We'll be back next year. I miss his second season. It's his second season. Common sense would tell you to just. But that's not something you can just do in the middle of the season. Like you can't just up and say, "Hey, let's change the whole thing, everything y'all learned from spring or from January." everything y'all know, new concepts, new coordinator, new this, new that.
I think that's also an issue when it comes to you not really knowing or you game planning for two quarterbacks. That's something that if you're game planning for two quarterbacks and you have to scheme, that's just not going to happen. So that's a lot harder said than done based on the mentality of want to play two quarterbacks. That's a lot harder to do.
But you just can't up and rip everything out and do that. We also got to do better in-game adjustments offensively. Because I don't think we do a very good job at that one. Because like last night when their defense made that change in the second half, we didn't adjust or make our own adjustments. And you should know, okay, you should go and expect, okay, our run game is going to work in the first half. They're going to adjust. How are we going to adjust to their adjustment? It's chess, bro. It's chess.
How would you incorporate that though? Like, does that look like, maybe some shorter passes, like some slants and some
I'm not an OC
or something like that.
I know OC,
Okay.
so I'm just speaking as a fan. All I just want is more passing plays out of the field. We were missing them though, like they weren't connecting.
I can see that because defenses start catering towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you pull out, say you got to go on the far side and a post on the left side, or the near side, you might catch somebody slipping, or you got a seam down the middle, you can catch somebody slipping. So I can see that.
We got Jackson State Trolls back in here. Prime example for Alcorn was in the ball.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying, because I'm not gonna lie. Consistently, we have issues with teams beating our zone by finding creases in it. One of the things that we did linebacker wise, I want to say I'm not even going to go yardage, but we dropped a little bit deeper than maybe necessary if they're going to throw those check downs right down the middle. So I can agree that that's something that we definitely should have kind of picked up a little bit more, because they got.
I'm not about to just Jackson State Troll. That's when on the ball. But we missed it though. That's what we're saying. We missed the throw. Like it was ready and available, but we missed it. I wish we had the highlight for you. But we didn't. But if you could see it, it was missed. My mouth. For us to have this QB issue, just let me know. I can't address that. Well, I just don't think we're utilizing Keyshawn in the best way we could. He could be having so much more success, so much more impact. And then also, I felt like Kendall, in my opinion, with Keyshawn, and then DB start, the defense caters towards guarding him. That should open up the field for somebody else. Now, are we looking for that somebody else to step? So I'm looking for Isaiah Scott, Tyree Sanders, even Jalen Lake. Step up to that number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody want to Jackson State Salute?
No, I just wanted to.
I won't speak on that.
I don't, but I also. One of the biggest reasons why we had a problem with QB last year was because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the issue right now. We have two guys that are talented quarterbacks at certain things. I think when one doesn't do well, the other does well. I'll say that. And then I feel like like you said, that quarterback, like not allowing Dede to finish the Miles game and then starting Dame against FAMU.
His confidence could be shot.
I think it hurt us because now you don't have neither one of them has as much confidence as they would have had if one was just, all right, you're QB1.
Mm-hmm. We've done this in kind of a very interesting way.
I've never seen it done this way. So that's why I say it like that. I feel like it's kind of, you're in a situation where you don't necessarily have a quarterback that you know is
Confidence is everything, man.
But also it's like, what are you judging when you take a quarterback out with?
I don't know.
Is it a short leash where, okay, you fumble the ball, you're out? It's a drive-by-drive basis.
I don't know, because yesterday, like I said, I feel like D had a rhythm early in the game. He was completing passes, and then you snatched him out, and then Dame comes in, and I don't know, and I also don't feel like 17 passes.
Yeah,
18, yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Football is football at the end of the day. I mean, levels matter. You're here now. It's time to step up and prove, you know. At the end of the day, Kendall, we keep talking about who should be the starter. One of these guys gotta separate themselves. Now, are we ever gonna give them an opportunity to do that? Because I feel like they're being both.
Ultimately, you can have all the stats you want. I mean, for either guy, you can have whatever. Everybody on the team, you want to win. We've seen both guys struggle sometimes, excel sometimes.
Right.
That's what makes it more difficult to me personally than maybe some other people who are just like, okay, it's set in stone, this guy or that guy.
As far as the Bethune-Cookman game, that's probably about to come up. I'm just hoping for a win at this point. You know, like I feel like this losing streak has really demoralized a lot of different people, and look at the long-term goal. Obviously, you know, you still have a SWAC championship. The window is still there. It's going to be a difficult path, but you know, you have to stay focused on one game day at a time. Because if you look at the top of the mountain, it's so daunting. I just focus on having another winning season at this point. So let's just win. Simply put.
I kind of agree with Khalil. I just want to see us put it together. I don't want to see us make mistakes in the sense of we're beating ourselves. Special teams has shown at certain points that they can, like as far as blocking kicks and getting the ball placements, returning balls, all of that type of stuff. Offense, what scheme we come out with. Because I really do feel like it depends on what scheme the offense comes in. Offense is very unpredictable right now because you have so many different variables as far as you don't know how they're gonna, you know, be doing the quarterback thing. You don't know what kind of scheme we're gonna run. You don't know any of that on a week-to-week basis, which sometimes I feel like can be to our advantage, and sometimes it can hurt us. It really just depends on how things go. Defense can't give up the big plays. That's ultimately what it got to be. You can't give up the big plays.
They did. They definitely did. But one thing I will say, I feel like we should go. If we saw what Jack State's running back at Niggas still. I think he had 164 yards. Run the ball. Just run the ball. I mean, you found a strength this week. I feel like you have a formula now to win the game, or you found at least a strength in your offense. Marcus Harris coming back was a big need for this offense because he came in and rushed for, I think it was 86 yards, 10 carries for 86 and a touchdown. So, yeah, run the ball. Stick to what you know.
Yeah, 10 carries, 80, a touchdown. Okay, he was close.
Yeah.
I feel like Richard Sherman.
Come on, man.
On the ball.
Make sure y'all donate to the Cash App at Wildcard2K. $ Wildcard2K. Anything else we got here, Kendall? Oh, SWAC standings. Let's get an update on these SWAC standings. Current SWAC standings, you guys, you see. Unfortunately, we are toward the bottom. And Kendall, how do you feel about this SWAC West race going on right now? Knowing how he performed against Southern.
I like the little competition in Southern got right now.
It's gonna make for a great Southern Heritage Classic.
Yeah, I like that. So far, it's nice to have some. It's nice to have some parity as far as like those top 3 spots. I like the fact that they're all kind of close. At the end of the day, some good football. And I think Grambling versus Southern should be pretty good. Personally, I'm very intrigued by that.
That's the one right here. Where's this comment come up? A&M? 58?
Never mind. That don't make sense.
58?
I wish we could score.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it. Is Tuskegee, maybe?
I wish we could score 50 points. All right, y'all. Well, that's gonna do it for this show. We appreciate y'all tuning in, checking in with us.
Especially when it's football on right now. We really appreciate it.
All right. So anything else you guys?
Y'all be blessed. It's homecoming week. So,
Hopefully see some of y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Tailgate food.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We love y'all.
Out.